tapered NPT fittings. See how this one goes from small to big? You do not run O-rings on these. So if you're unsure if you have a tapered female thread, all you need to do is get a set of calipers. So you can see down deep, that's 0.43, and you come out a little bit and it's 0.45. So that one's tapered. And these don't make a seal on their own. You can crank them down as tight as you want, they're gonna leak. So what you need to do is get some thread tape, pipe tape. And I like this blue stuff because it's thicker. I'll leave a link below. A lot of the white stuff is a lot thinner and you have to wrap it more times. And like this says on here, it says minimum 3 wraps. So the best way to do this is, I'm left-handed, so it's going to be a mirror image for you maybe, however you feel comfortable doing this. I've got it coming out this way, and then you want to wrap it over like this, and don't get it on the top like this because then it's blocking, you know, whatever air or fluid's flowing, and if it cuts, it can go in and plug up a hole. So be mindful to come out like this and pull tight, put a finger down on it, get that seated in good, and start pulling tight as you roll around like this. So there's one wrap. Two wraps, and keep pulling tight the whole time. 3 wraps minimum, so I just keep going and pull tight, come up the threads a little bit, and then just grab this and tear it off. And make sure none of these stringers go up in the top too. Push them down. Just push them in tight like that. And 99% of threads, you're looking straight down on their clockwise thread. So you want that tape to come around this way. Hopefully I can explain this properly. Because if it's coming around the wrong way, you have a loose end coming up, and it could wad up as you're spinning it in. So you want to think about the way, the rotation. You want your terminating end to come up and off this way when you come down in. Hopefully that makes sense. My terminating end is coming this way, so it's pulling it back and even tighter as it goes in. If it was coming off the other way, that would grab and start wadding up, and you could potentially see a little ball coming up, you know, where it's trying to unthread itself. And that's usually good enough. But if you're, I know a lot of plumbers, my uncle's a plumber, and he recommended to put some sort of pipe sealant on it too. And you don't want to put this on before the wrap because then it's liquid, and then this stuff's slippery and it doesn't want to go in nice and tight like that. So tape first, sealant after. And try not to get that down in the cavity either. So you get that on there. And then get 2 wrenches and crank it down real tight. And then pressurize your system, and then get some kind of soapy water. I like, you know, I just have Simple Green readily available, so I use that. And just spray around the whole thing and make sure you don't see any leaks coming out. And if you're planning on building any type of parts, you know, like I run a fabrication shop, you don't want to do aluminum to aluminum on NPT threads. They will gall up and you can't take them. You know, if you're just putting them in once and you're 100% sure you're not going to have to take them apart, that's fine. But when you pull them apart, anodized or not, they tend to gall up, even if you have tape and lube on them. So I recommend if you have an aluminum part with a female thread, use a stainless one or a steel one. Well, these are all tapered threads, and that's how you seal them. Tapered, not tapered. This one seals up here on this angle. Okay, let's move on to garden hose fittings. This is what I call a face seal, because you can see this gasket. Some of them use flats like this, these cheaper ones, which I've actually seen these fail unless you crank them down really tight, because when they're injection molded, they have like a seam on them, and that leaves a standing part up that doesn't let it seal tight. And I prefer, when you can, just use a fat O-ring. So these, you put the gasket down, and they're straight threads. So, you know, if the person that made this did a good job, they got a nice flat surface on the top that faces into that and makes a seal. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have had problems with garden hoses like this. You know, it's got this taper on it, and if you have this out in your yard, you drop it, eventually this gets dented up, and see how it's kind of got a flat spot on this side. So that doesn't want to seal as good. And this is the same as a washer dryer hookup in your house. And you'd be amazed how many people don't know what they're doing. And they'll wrap the one end with Teflon to try to get a better seal. And that is not doing any good. Don't do that. You just got to look in here and make sure you have a good O-ring and clean sealing surfaces. Crank them down tight. Okay, so this trash off of Amazon, I bought this as a weld-up kit. And they sent it anodized and did not specify it's anodized. The way you can tell this is anodized is if you sand it on a belt sander real quick and smell it, it stinks. Or you can just hand file it and see that you have a very clear surface finish difference between the two. And this does not weld up good. Anyways, that's not about this video. So we're looking in here, we got a taper, right? And then this O-ring up in here. So the idea here is it's wanting to squish this O-ring back at a 45-degree angle out into the cap. And that's fine and dandy, but look at this. You come around to the very end of this thread and it's right up in where the O-ring is. It's pressing in and there's a little void right there. So this might be fine for like a low pressure scenario, like a fill cap or something, but anything pressurized, that's pretty hokey. You're wanting, this is just a bad design, you're wanting the O-ring in further so it makes a face seal or an angled seal the whole way around without a thread cutting right into the middle of it.